Racist cop arrested her own boss by mistake. Then this happened. The calm morning in Rivermont, it was a peaceful morning in Rivermont. The sun hung low, casting soft golden hues across the quiet streets. Birds chirped in the distance, coffee shops brewed their first pots, and joggers trotted along the sidewalks. The neighborhood hummed with the gentle rhythm of early risers, and for a brief moment, it felt like the world was at peace. But not every morning stays peaceful. Sometimes, that calm is shattered by the storm of injustice. On this particular morning, a man walked casually down the street. He wore a simple gray t-shirt, blue jeans, and sneakers. Nothing about him was flashy or out of the ordinary. To anyone paying attention, he looked like just another person heading out to run errands or meet a friend. But not to Officer Karen Daniels. Watching him from her patrol car, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. Officer Daniels wasn't new to the force. She had experience, years of it, but her reputation wasn't one to celebrate. Her so-called sharp instincts for spotting suspicious behavior had been whispered about within the precinct, with many questioning the true nature of her selective enforcement. That morning, her instincts told her one thing: this man didn't belong. Pulling her squad car to the curb, she stepped out with brisk authority, her hand resting on the holster of her gun. "Excuse me, sir," she called out. The man turned toward her, his expression calm but questioning. "Yes, officer? What are you doing in this neighborhood?" Her tone was sharp, almost accusatory. "I live here," he replied, gesturing to a nearby row of houses. "Can I see some ID?" The man sighed, his voice steady but tinged with irritation. "Am I being accused of something?" She didn't answer. Instead, her demand hardened. "Show me your ID." He hesitated, then responded firmly. "I'm a police officer, undercover." That should have been the end of it. Any reasonable person would have taken a moment to verify his claim. But not Officer Daniels. "Undercover," she scoffed, her disbelief evident. "Dressed like that? Do you think I'm stupid?" Her skepticism escalated quickly. Ignoring his repeated explanations, she radioed in what she claimed was a possible suspect in an ongoing investigation. Within minutes, backup arrived. 2 additional officers stepped out of their vehicles, their tension palpable. Despite the man's calm yet frustrated attempts to explain, "I'm a cop. Check my badge number. It's in the system," his words fell on deaf ears. Officer Daniels ignored him, accusing him of money laundering and insisting he matched the description of a suspect in a recent case. The absurdity of the situation hung in the air, yet no one questioned her judgment. The man was handcuffed and shoved into the back of a squad car. From his seat, he scanned the neighborhood. Faces peeked from windows, some hidden behind curtains, others standing on porches watching. But no one intervened. His voice rang out, desperate but firm. "I am a police officer. Someone call my precinct. This is wrong." Silence. The onlookers turned away, retreating to the safety of their homes. Hours later, the man sat in a holding cell, humiliated, his dignity stripped. Around him, officers either smirked or avoided his gaze altogether. It wasn't until the precinct captain arrived that the nightmare ended. The so-called suspect was none other than Captain Eric Lewis, a respected veteran of the force with over 2 decades of service. Known for his fairness and dedication to justice, Captain Lewis had been undercover, investigating corruption in Rivermont's neighborhoods. His casual attire was intentional, designed to avoid suspicion. The revelation sent shockwaves through the department. Officer Daniels, once so sure of her actions, now stood pale and shaken as the truth unraveled. Captain Lewis was immediately released, but the damage was done. When the story broke, public outrage followed. Protests erupted across the city, with people demanding accountability. Social media buzzed with hashtags like #JusticeForEric and #EndRacism as a wave of unity swept through the community. Officer Daniels was suspended for 6 months without pay and required to undergo extensive training in racial bias, cultural sensitivity, and ethical policing. For some, the punishment didn't seem harsh enough. For others, it was a step in the right direction. Captain Lewis returned to duty with renewed determination. Speaking publicly about the ordeal, he used the platform to advocate for deeper systemic change within law enforcement. "This isn't just about me," he said at a press conference. "It's about every person who's been judged not by their character, but by the color of their skin. We must do better, all of us." The calm morning in Rivermont had ended in chaos. But from that chaos came determination, a collective will to confront biases, demand transparency, and push for justice. Moments like these remind us why the fight is worth it. Racism, unchecked power, and silence in the face of injustice only thrive if we allow them. So next time you see someone treated unfairly, ask yourself, will I stand by or will I stand up? Change starts with us. All of us. Together, we can create a world where justice and equality are more than just words, they're reality. If you've read this far, comment where you're watching from and leave 100 points in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated on our latest stories.